Hi there, photographers and photography enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into one of the fundamental concepts in photography, the exposure triangle. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to balance aperture, shutter speed, and ISO to capture stunning images. Let's start with aperture. Aperture refers to the size of the opening in your lens through which light enters. It's measured in f-stops, like f2.8, f4, f8, and so on. A lower f-stop number means a larger opening, which lets in more light and creates a shallow depth of field, making your subject stand out against a blurry background. Conversely, a higher f-stop number means a smaller opening, letting in less light and increasing the depth of field, keeping more of the scene in focus. Next up is shutter speed. Shutter speed controls how long the camera's sensor is exposed to light. It's measured in fractions of a second, like 1/500th, 1/250th, or even full seconds for long exposures. A fast shutter speed freezes motion, perfect for action shots. A slow shutter speed, on the other hand, can create beautiful motion blur, great for capturing light trails or silky smooth water effects. Finally, we have ISO. ISO determines the sensitivity of your camera's sensor to light. Lower ISO values like 100 or 200 produce less noise and are ideal for bright conditions. Higher ISO values like 1600 or 3200 increase sensitivity, which can be useful in low light conditions, but may introduce grain or noise into your photos. Now, the magic happens when you balance these three elements. If you increase your aperture to let in more light, you might need to adjust your shutter speed or ISO to maintain proper exposure. For example, in low light, you might open your aperture wide and increase your ISO, but also need a slower shutter speed to get enough light without making the photo too grainy. Here are some practical tips. In bright daylight, use a lower ISO and a faster shutter speed to avoid overexposure. For portraits with a blurry background, choose a wide aperture. For night photography, use a tripod and a slow shutter to speed with a higher ISO. And there you have it, a quick guide to the exposure triangle. Experiment with different settings to see how they affect your photos. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more photography tips. Happy shooting!